Look, I'm a pretty optimistic guy, but the Los Angeles Lakers have just hit a season low. They just lost by 41 points. Professional basketball players just lost by 41 freaking points and got outscored in every single quarter against the Miami Heat. That is absolutely embarrassing. I am almost at a loss for words, guys. I did not even want to make a video for the Lakers today, but I owe you guys because you always show up, and I'm going to show up, and we're going to talk it out. We're going to hash it out, and we're going to figure out ways that this Los Angeles Lakers team can somehow figure it out. And welcome to Lakers Digest. On that note, my name is Hunter Pitcoff, and we cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. If you haven't already, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to hit 3,100 subscribers. We hit 3K earlier last month, of phenomenal accomplishment for myself and my fellow co-host, Okechi Apakama. But we are at 3.06 right now, so about 40-ish subscribers away. A lot of you guys watch the videos. You don't subscribe. You don't like. You don't comment. If you want to reach that platinum status, though, just subscribe now before we get into today's video. Embarrassing. That is the word that not only I used, but many other Lakers have used to describe tonight's game. And it has been not just tonight's game, though, which is the biggest concern for me. Because when you look at it here, this is the Lakers' last 8 games, if I'm not mistaken. They absolutely blew the game against the Orlando Magic. They got smoked by the Denver Nuggets after being about tied at halftime. Actually, I think the Lakers had the lead at halftime against the Denver Nuggets. They got embarrassed by Phoenix. They got a nice win against the Spurs. Close game, but lost to the Thunder. They barely beat the Utah Jazz, one of the NBA's worst teams. And then now we've hit even a bigger low, 2 blowout embarrassing wins, or losses rather. A 29-point loss to the Timberwolves, a team that has struggled all season long, and a team that struggled in the Miami Heat. They just lost by 41 points to the Miami Heat, guys. Tyler Hero, who looks like Elle from Stranger Things, had, 7 threes in the third quarter? That's embarrassing. He's a great player, but no team should ever play this bad. And look, you look at LeBron down below. I know he struggled, but he had a phenomenal game. He had 25 points in the third, or not in the third quarter, but in the third quarter, he had 25 total points, and he played great. A lot of other players, though, did not play particularly well in this one. Sorry, guys, as I'm going through my graphics here. Anthony Davis, easily his worst game of the season. 8 points on 3 of 14 shooting. A pretty miserable night for him. Rui Hachimura, 14 out of 6 of 7, but honestly, a lot of garbage time points. I thought, shockingly, someone who did have a pretty good game, Max Christie, 4 of 8 from the field, 7 rebounds, and 11 points. One of the few players to really step up in this one. Dalton Knecht continues to struggle. He's on a cold streak, and maybe that is a bit of a coincidence, or not a coincidence here, as Dalton Knecht has struggled during these lowly moments for the LA Lakers. But let's get into this too, because a lot of Laker leaders have been speaking out. Not just players, not just coaches, but let's start with one of the all-time Laker greats who knows a thing or two about winning, in Magic Johnson. He said this, and we know he loves tweeting, and it's great that he keeps up with the Lakers team. I'm embarrassed for the Lakers. They were down 32 points to the Miami Heat, 105-72 at the end of the third quarter. Like many of us, Magic, I don't blame you if you stopped watching the game. I don't. It's hard to support the team when they're this bad. I cover the Lakers for a living, so I don't have the luxury of doing that, guys. I'll watch for us when they suck. Magic probably turned the game off after that because, yes, it did, in fact, get worse. They were down 32, well, they lost by 41, Magic. You know, they're like, hold my beer. Let me make this even worse for you, Magic. The guy who won 5 championships with the Lakers and really established what it means to be rocking the purple and gold. And the guy up here, of course, as well, Kobe Bryant, doing the same. But, the Lakers definitely were far from that tonight. But more players also speaking out, as well as head coach J.J. Redick. He said this after the game. I'm embarrassed, so clearly The word embarrassed is the word of the day here for the Lakers. We're all embarrassed. It's not a game where we had the right fight, the right professionalism. There has to be some ownership. I own this, but there's going to have to be some ownership on the court. So J.J. Redick really looking to the players to figure it out. And to be fair, LeBron Anthony Davis followed these sentiments too, saying there's no scheme or X's and O's or whatever that can get you through that. If you don't want to compete, then that's the other issue. And again, LeBron being one of the players that did have a really good game tonight. And then Anthony Davis here. We can't separate. We got to stick together as a team and make sure that this doesn't turn into something we don't want. So LeBron and Anthony Davis know a thing or two about being a Laker, and they know a thing or two about winning a championship, since both of them have done it here in Los Angeles. This is embarrassing, right? We have seen some pretty bad Laker performances over the years. Just with my timeline of my life, I've witnessed the Kobe era. I'm a little young to necessarily remember the Shaq and Kobe era, but I'm pretty up to tune, obviously, what happened. We talked about the Showtime era with Magic Johnson. There's the dark ages, which I call the post-Kobe Bryant years before LeBron got there, where the Lakers were absolutely garbage, but there was no expectation. This team's expectation is to compete. Are they a championship team? I've said no, and now I definitely have my concerns unless a move or two is made that can drastically change the shift of this Lakers team. But they're still a good team, and they still should be in the thick of things in the West, and because they've had a 6-game winning streak, because they started off the season 3-0, they are not completely dead man walking, but this is going to get pretty damn close, and I'm afraid this might even get worse. They have a game coming up here against the Atlanta Hawks. Maybe they can figure it out, but like I said, guys, this is bad. Oh, wrong one, I'm sorry for that. You look here, and You lose 6 out of your last 8. You lost to some good teams, to be fair, but at the same time, though, 3 of these games were absolute blowouts, not competitive. And then you got, 2-ish games here at your blue, if you want to count Denver, and the Magic here. 2 games that the Lakers definitely could have won. And then you barely beat the Utah Jazz. The only nice win there really is the Spurs, and then the Thunder, is at least explainable, but that was a game they also could have won too. So they do miss Austin Reaves. I think if we've learned anything too is that they really miss Austin Reaves, but Austin Reaves is not the reason that you've lost by a combined what's the math on that, 72 points, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 2 games. I mean, that's pathetic. That's straight pathetic, guys. They got to be better. And clearly the players feel it. They're not dummies. They understand that this is unacceptable. And it's unacceptable, too, guys, when you're playing for that logo. It's unacceptable. It's different when you're a Laker. Not to be like that, but when you're a Detroit Piston and you're expected to suck, and they've been better than anticipated, that's different. When you're on the Washington Wizards and you're expected to win maybe 25 games this year, it's different. It's not the same when you're rocking that logo. This man set a precedent that losing is unacceptable. And that's what we're seeing right now with the Lakers. There's no reason to be losing this bad to any team in the NBA. I don't care how good Tyler Hero is playing. There's no reason to lose that bad. They got to figure it out, and they got to be better. And that does bring us to our last point. Can they actually recover from this? Look, we've seen the Lakers have bad Decembers. What's the Lexus deal? A December to remember. They've had a lot of Decembers that you don't want to remember, and a lot of Decembers to forget. And this is starting to look like one of those. But it's only December 4th at the time of the game, so they got plenty of time to figure it out entering the new year. The Lakers need to figure it out. And they're not going to make any moves. Most likely not this month. They could, but it probably will happen closer to January and really closer to the trade deadline in February, where a significant move will be made. Rob Pelinka even said himself he's going to wait at least 30 games to figure out what to do with this roster. Now it's been 22, so we're 8 games there. But the Lakers have proven that they're consistently inconsistent this season. Like I said, they started off 3-0. Then they had a 5-game road trip. They lost 4 out of 5, which put them at, my math's right there, 4-4. Then they go on a 6-game win streak. That puts them at 10-4. Now they've lost 6 out of their last 8, including 2 embarrassing blowout back-to-back losses, and now they're at 12-10, and they're probably between the 8 and 10 seed in a very tough, stacked Western Conference, and every game matters, guys. All it could take is a 6-game win streak to shoot you up from 8-3, or a 6-game losing streak to go from 4-9. Like, that's all it takes in the West. So the margin for error is extremely slim. So Lakers have no excuse or choice but to figure it out. And JJ Redick's got to make some decisions with the starting lineup too, because we're also seeing here a lineup with Rui Hachimura and Dalton Connect. That's not working either. So they're going to have to figure out some ways to get creative. Perhaps it's putting Cam Reddish back in the starting lineup. You know what? I think Max Christie, the way he's been playing, I think he deserves a shot. He's someone who actually played pretty well in this game, and he's been rebounding the ball pretty well. Rui Hachimura had 3 rebounds. You're 6'8", like 230 pounds. Crash the glass, man. Crash the glass. Max Christie, he gets up. He uses 2 hands. He, keeps the ball high. And he, sends the outlet pass, and he's a good ball handler. I actually think he deserves a fair shot here in the starting lineup. And I think that with his youth and his athleticism, he obviously can shoot the ball a little bit. He had himself a nice game. If I'm JJ Redick, I'm looking at that locker room like, who really wants it? And Max Christie, the guy who did get the contract extension this offseason, you think he'd be a little more complacent. But no, he's going out there. He was benched, not playing in games. I think that pissed him off, and now he's been playing a little bit better. That's going to be an answer, at least with this roster right now, that I want to see is Max Christie in that starting lineup. And let's see if that rejuvenizes the team or gets the juices flowing or something like that. Because right now, what we're seeing is embarrassing, and this is not the answer. But you know what? We're getting a little bit late into the video. I don't want to rant too much here, but let me remind you all one more time. The Lakers might suck, but Lakers Digest does not suck, at least in my unbiased opinion here. And again, we are trying to reach 3,100 subscribers. That's our next goal. I want to get this goal within the next week or so. I think it's very reasonable for the growth of our channel. And again, we cover your Los Angeles Lakers here every single day. We cover the games. We cover trade rumors, injury reports. There's always something going around with the Los Angeles Lakers. This is not a boring franchise, and I'm sure a lot of you listening are very familiar with that, and probably are Laker fans too. So this is the number one spot to be, unbiased opinion, of course, to get everything surrounding your Lakers. Me and my co-host, my co-pilot, Okechi Apakama. I promise you guys, the Lakers might not bring their very best every single game, but we are going to bring our very best. We got chip on our shoulder, and we're hungry to give you all the content surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers.